Welcome to the Sleazy Podcast, the podcast about anything and everything, but mostly TV and movies. And now it's time to get sleazy.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 189 of the Sleazy Podcast. Oh, wait a minute. The world-renowned Sleazy Podcast. I got to keep, reminding people of that. I'm your host, Sleazy, and of course, I'm joined by Mr. PBS.
Howdy.
And the man, the legend, Rob Poole. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Hello.
How you doing over there, Peanut?
Fantastic.
And if you can't tell, we are fresh off of seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, and we can't stop repeating things and talking about things from the movie. But man, I'm still on a high from that experience.
So much fun.
Good.
I know.
Good. We'll get to that.
Yes.
Don't worry.
In due time, my friends, we will get to Deadpool and Wolverine. But what is on the docket for this episode? You might be asking yourself. Well, I'm going to tell you before we get started. We're going to open it up a little bit after this, of course. Then we're going to talk about, is it a Netflix exclusive movie, Land of Bad?
I would
It
say
came out in theaters.
It did it?
It was
Okay,
a
so
Netflix
it's
release.
on Netflix now.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was in theaters or not.
It didn't really get a lot of exposure.
I can see why. Then we're going to talk about Abigail. Abigail just debuted on Peacock, and that was another one that was
So much fun.
and then I guess I can talk briefly a little bit about Twisters, and then we'll get to Deadpool and Wolverine, and we'll kind of give you our spoiler-free thoughts on the movie, and then we're going to cut you off if you haven't seen the movie, and we're going to get to the real talk after that. Sound good, guys?
Fantastic.
All right. So, before all this craziness, all these movies came out, we had to finish The Boys, too. I mean,
It's a great show.
it really is, dude.
What's so great about it, Robzilla?
And this is our opening, by the way, people.
Yes.
So,
it just ended for season 4. It's a great take on superheroes and how they're very faulty.
What I want to know, Robzilla, is why is this show so woke?
right. That was the big complaint about this season, that it was very woke and made fun of people for their political beliefs.
It's always been a little bit political, but they really pushed it with this season, and it was fairly accurate how a lot of people.
Oh, it was
things.
totally accurate.
Yeah.
And here's my thought. If I was parading around and my favorite politician and had flags on my house, I would want somebody to make fun of me too. just throwing that out there. You'll never see a flag on this, house on my part for, hanging it exclusively every day for a political person.
It's not true American.
Yeah.
I think we sent a few memes back and forth at some point in the last couple months
Oh yeah.
about Star Wars, go Rebels. And
Yeah.
then in real life, I'm pro Empire in real life. though.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, listen, these people, they're fucking crying over this. Stop crying. As Arnold would say.
The non snowflakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The people that have progressively attacked others for whining are the ones whining now. It's like a vicious circle. Those like circle diagrams they show you? Like, that's what it is.
And it's worse because quit being such a baby and then they're bitching.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think we're all crybabies on some level. I'm sure if
Of
you've
course.
listened to the show enough, you've heard me cry about something. But I mean, these people exclusively cry about it, and they make some noise about it too.
Yeah.
We are the silent majority.
But that being said, about the let's get back on track here with the show. A lot of people were saying that, that's the reason why this season is not as good as the rest of them. It's not as good as the past seasons, but it's still pretty damn good. And that's not any of the issues of why it's not
Right.
great to some people. But yeah, I think some people just got their feelings hurt and they don't want to deal with it now.
I mean, it's a show.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Quit taking yourself too seriously.
And you see there's a couple more cameos from people from the show Supernatural because Eric Kripke wrote The Boys. So
Yeah, I was very disappointed though. Spoilers. That what's his face just ended up being a Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
he was just basically an altered personality for
Yeah, he was just an hallucination, pretty
for
much.
Butcher. It's that way in the comic book too, but
I want him to play somebody that's going to have an impact on the show.
Well, even if,
but I mean, I guess he still does because he kind of
it's still like
eggs him on to do things, and
he's like, he eggs him on immensely.
You're all fucking welcome. That was such a great way to end that show, wasn't it,
dude?
And that's the thing. Yeah, the show this season was very how do I put it here? Kind of slow but steady.
Yeah.
And they just fucking ended on a banger, bro. Like,
well, I think
they just shit away 2 seasons of buildup.
Yeah.
And now you're like, they're just starting back at 1.
Yeah. Well,
so, I give them props for that. They're not dragging shit out forever.
Right. Well, I think even Anton, the guy who plays Homelander, he said 5 seasons is just right because you just want to keep dragging it out and he wants to go on a high note.
Oh yeah, and we were waiting for Mr. PBS as he is fashionably late. I was like looking for San Diego Comic-Con news, and I saw an article about The Boys, and there's 2 prequels that they want to make, Soldier Boy and what's her face, Stormfront. I'm down for that because those are great characters.
Yeah.
And the end of that season when they showed Jensen Ackles in the little cryo chamber, I was like, fucking A. Yeah. Let's go.
Well, I think a lot of people got pissed off because of the slight story with Frenchie, because it's out of nowhere,
right?
And abruptly ends. So I can see why people was kind of annoyed.
They did squash that Frenchie shit.
It was really quick.
Yeah,
I'm like, really?
I think they were just adding that in there to whether it was to appease certain viewers or to just throw it in there to do it. Seems like they do a lot of things on that show just to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got our the giant penis guy was back for that final episode.
Love Sausage is what it's named.
Is that what it is? Love sausage, man. Thank God you're here.
Yeah.
Mr. Wikipedia.
Obscure bullshit is what I'm good at. So
Yep.
I know I'm good at. So that's what it is.
I have a hard time remembering the character's name.
It's just like also there's just like it's just stupid shit. I just think it's hilarious. That's not supposed to be funny, and it's just funny to me.
Like talking puppets.
Yeah,
that's a go-to for you.
It really is.
If you see any talking puppets like cussing or anything, Rob will love it.
I grew up on
Mr. Frank Anchors.
Yeah. Hey, I grew up on that.
Yeah. So I mean, The Boys. I just it ended on a banger, and like I said, they shit on 2 seasons worth of buildup, and now it's like going to be a whole new season and a whole new thing for next year to end it off. So I'm stoked for that.
Well, have you seen the picture? It's like how it's really going to end. It's Butcher going to the White House.
Yeah.
If it's how it's going to be kind of to the comic book, it's going to be a banger.
Oh, let's hope so.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I'm just glad they didn't kill Butcher off. But okay, so moving on, we're going to talk about Land of Bad, and this is one of Russell Crowe's latest. And he seems to just be fucking tearing movies up left and right.
He's just living his best life.
He really is.
To me, he's just like John Malkovich. Like the movie cannot be that great, but you have John Malkovich in it or Russell Crowe, it's still gonna be decent.
I mean, I've got a couple problems with this movie, but I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm signing into a Letterboxd here.
It's not terrible, but I just know if Russell Crowe wasn't in it, I wouldn't nearly liked it as much.
Yeah, it kind of would have sucked if Russell Crowe was in it.
Yeah. That should have been like a Netflix movie if Russell Crowe wasn't in it.
By the way, Russell Crowe is putting on some weight.
He's a chunky boy.
He is very chunky now.
I don't think he gives 2 shits.
No.
We're in communications. You need to answer that phone.
This is Land of Bad, right?
Land of Bad. Yeah.
See, I typed in Land of the Bad.
Directed by William Eubank, who did Underwater from a couple years ago. That was pretty decent. I like that one.
Oh, that is that
Stewart.
Yeah. That was okay, but I was like,
see, the only problem I had with it was
no talking puppets. I know.
Yeah.
That's what's devastating about it.
There's no dick jokes. There's no talking puppets that cuss.
I think I would have more enjoyed it if it was more like a
I mean, seeing Kristen Stewart, in the bare minimum,
and I love
underwater is enough.
There's
right?
Nothing better than seeing TJ Miller die as well. A horrific death.
Yeah, you're not a TJ Miller fan.
He fucking annoys me. I don't know what it is.
So Deadpool and Wolverine was a much better experience just on that fact alone.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Unless he got killed off.
Okay, so Land of Bad. Here's your synopsis for this. When a Delta Force special ops mission goes terribly wrong, Air Force drone pilot Reaper has 48 hours to remedy what has devolved into a wild rescue operation with no weapons and no communication other than the drone above. The ground mission suddenly becomes full-scale battle when the team is discovered by the enemy.
Honestly, I have no idea why they were even there. Honestly, I just
Yeah, I mean,
they were there to save the guy that they kidnapped, obviously robbed.
I have no
I
idea.
told
what
you
he
this
was
like
there
in the
for.
first few minutes where you're
I
not paying
guess.
attention.
yeah.
I
Remember,
still-
they were looking for the asset,
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
even though they didn't move terribly quick when people surrounded them.
No.
Well, he wasn't the guy. He was just the guy holding the asset.
Yeah.
He was just the other bad guy.
Okay. So I gave this a 3. I don't know what you guys.
I gave I gave it a 3, but it could be a 2.53 for me.
Solid 3.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Solid.
I feel you. I mean, listen, I could have went 3.5, but for some reason, 3 just felt like it was just somewhere in the middle of average and fun.
Yeah.
So you got Liam Hemsworth is like the tech guy. He's the guy talking with the drone operators. Like you said, they're going out into the jungle.
Well, he's the Air Force, right?
Yeah,
Air Force,
whatever exactly
yeah.
he is, JSOC or whatever
Yeah.
they said.
Yeah,
I
there we
don't,
go. That's what it is.
I don't know my military
Ain't it?
acronyms and all that well.
Yeah.
I've never been one to focus on those too much. Like, yeah, whatever. Cool. He's in the military.
Yeah.
I just,
we know.
I just accept what the movie tells me.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that works fine. And then, so he's there to like stay in with the drone operators and the team back in like Las Vegas or whatever. And that's where Russell Crowe comes in as Reaper, the drone operator. He's part of the team. And can't remember what was his partner's name. She was really cool too. The black lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was awesome.
Really fun. And like as one of you mentioned there, Mr. Crowe's a little out of shape. You could tell he's like the desk job guy kind of in this.
Yeah. My whole thought through this movie, I'm like, does the Air Force really let people balloon up like that, even if they have desk jobs? Like, don't they have physical tests to complete every so often?
You know, I had a buddy who was in the Air Force and he kind of did something with drones. I keep meaning to ask him about this movie just to see what he thinks about it.
You should do that.
I think you still have to maintain some sort of physical conditioning. You still have to do, because even he told me once, like he had to do the physicals. I don't know if you have to do them like every year,
Yeah.
but you still have to be able to like run a mile or whatever and,
Gotcha.
and all that. But he's playing like, you could tell he's the,
Well, Russell Crowe in this
Anti-Thor.
movie cannot run a mile.
No.
I'm convinced of that.
he's the anti-authority figure. You know, he doesn't take shit from the rest of the guys. They all just want to watch their March Madness or whatever they're doing, or
Yeah.
college
He just like
basketball.
he's just so fucking.
Who would
irritated
have
with
thought that that was part of, the plot to this movie was irresponsible Air Force workers watching March Madness.
You know, he's just like, if that phone's ringing, a nice old, I don't think it was a rotary phone, but it was a nice old like touch tone dial phone,
him. Yeah.
like a little
yeah,
light on top.
Yeah.
It's like, if this phone rings, it could be my wife going into labor. I like how the one guy gives him shit, literally, like, is she even really ready for labor yet? He's kind of like, well, not exactly. Just
How many
yet.
kids did he say he had in that movie too?
Like 4 or 5.
Oh,
something
man,
like
He
that.
had like 2 wives already. and-
Yeah. When he's married like 4 times.
something weird like that.
He makes it a point to tell several people that, and it's like, okay, I get it.
Right. And his partner was Sergeant Nia Branson.
Yeah.
That was the character's name, anyways.
Yeah, she was really fun. Both seeing them kind of work together was fun.
And her first name is Sheikah. I think it's pronounced. I'm not going to attempt the last name, but yeah.
One thing, I don't know if you noticed it, but Russell Crowe his character was also enjoying some March Madness at the beginning of the movie.
Mhm.
Do you know what team he was watching that he was upset that lost?
He's a Buckeye.
He was a Buckeye.
Yep.
He was a
OH.
Buckeye.
So is Liam Hemsworth.
Yep.
Yeah,
OH.
yeah. I thought that was
Doing
interesting.
some Ohio geographical
Yeah.
city trivia or whatever.
Yeah, that's a couple times now where Ohio and Columbus have been mentioned. Well, Columbus wasn't mentioned in this movie, but I've heard Columbus in a couple things now,
Yeah.
and Ohio in general.
I feel like Ohio is sort of sometimes like shorthand for, obviously not the Midwest, but like a certain segment of the country.
Mhm.
But I really liked it. It gave me, it actually gave me like Predator feels for a good chunk of the beginning.
Oh yeah,
Meeting the
jungle,
team and all
dude.
that.
Some of those firefights were insane.
Yeah.
They were insane.
It's like it gives you anxiety a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's one of those movies where these characters, they keep getting into more worse situations. and you're like, holy shit, how much more can these people take?
One thing goes downhill and the next thing goes downhill.
Right.
Sugar.
Like, what are the odds that all these things line up perfectly and just happen to these people?
Right. That's like when the Uber bad guys show up and kill the bad guys, and they're like forced to, especially Liam Hemsworth is forced to like take to the woods. And of course, he's not really the military guy. He's kind of the tech guy.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe's trying like, you got to go 100 yards north and get up this ravine and do this and that. There's some pretty good stuff in there. The first 90 minutes is like really solid. And then they kind of let the bad guy talk. And that's when it kind of went downhill for me.
Yeah.
Right.
The bad
Like
guy kind of
why?
has to explain whatever. I'm like, we didn't need that.
Right.
But then it kind of pumps it up again toward the end where, you know, they finally relieved Russell Crowe and he's got to go do his shopping and all that.
He has to go shopping for his vegan wife.
Right.
That's
His
hilarious.
super duper vegan cheese or whatever.
Yeah, he says like the name. The guy's like, "Oh, we got it." He's
Yeah,
like,
I'm
"Man,
calling
come on."
cap on that. We've
Yeah.
got retail experience. Somebody comes and reads that fucking note off to you. You're like, sorry, don't have it.
I know, never worked in a cheese shop.
Never heard of it,
Never
sir.
heard of it, sir.
You can get on our app and check to see if we actually have that in stock now. And then, you know, from there we'll go from there, you know.
Yeah,
But-
so I was into this one. I thought it was pretty solid.
And the guy who played, who was it? Sergeant Abel was Luke, their older brother.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
The
Two
that.
Hemsworths in this.
Other Hemsworth.
Yeah, he's the guy from the one HBO show.
Neighbors.
No. The HBO show.
Let's see here.
With the robots. You know what I'm talking about?
Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld.
Was he in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was like head of security for Westworld.
All right. Yeah.
So, yeah, though, very solid movie. Russell Crowe's Russell Crowe. Tons of action.
I need to see what's his other Exorcist movie. That's got to be out soon if it's not out already.
Yeah, I saw where people were talking shit about it,
Yeah.
but I'm like, it's Russell Crowe. I want to see it.
All right.
That's
You
how I
know?
feel. I'm like, it's Russell Crowe. Who cares?
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, if you like Russell Crowe, you like military stuff, kind of almost like a Tears of Sun feel too.
Really, I haven't seen that one.
With Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
it's
getting
got that
dropped
feel.
somewhere and then having impossible odds to get out of
Had
the situation.
touch of like the in the jungle portion, like Flight of the Intruder. A little
Yeah.
bit of that too.
Yeah, it's a solid movie.
Nice
So
action movie.
if you're bored, fire Netflix up and watch it.
It's The Exorcism for.
I think
Russell
we're all giving it a solid recommendation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
The Exorcism is what is for Russell Crowe for the new.
yeah, where he's
Exorcism.
like filming a
Is it
movie
out
and he
yet,
gets
Rob?
exercised.
Yeah.
Or he gets possessed.
Yeah,
When's it come out?
that is.
I feel like it's already out.
Yeah,
It's probably-
June 21st. So yeah, it's almost been. A couple
Yeah, because
weeks.
people were shitting on it.
So it's
Yeah.
probably in
It-
between. It's theatrical and it's
It's going to be on Netflix next week, probably.
And I will happily watch it.
Look, Google. You know, I don't know why I'm telling you. I have a computer too, but
I'll help you. What?
that's what you're there for, producer. Google it's when it's going to be available on streaming. Normally they have those deals, you know, already
It's like
good
the
to go.
45 days or whatever, or the 90 days.
Type faster, Peanut.
Okay, here. Okay. It's actually now it's available for streaming on premium video for July 9th. So yeah, it's already
Well,
there.
that's the rent.
right. And then let me see here.
He's so lame, isn't he? PBS has got the phone out now, and he's like, "Let me fucking show you how it's done."
Let's see.
It says for DVD and Blu-ray September 24th.
I wonder if September then is when it'll be out. So June, that would be 90 days. Yeah. There's too much silence here, Rob. Come
No,
on.
I'm sorry here. I'm trying.
It's still in the $20 rental period. So
Yeah,
probably it's got a little
24.99.
longer.
Yeah. Let me see here. Fucking up. Sorry.
I know. Listen to all this silence.
I know.
I blame you.
I'm
It's
sorry.
dead air, Rob. Dead air.
Dead air. My raspy hoarse voice.
Jesus, dude. All right, we're gonna move on.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to turn on the clicky sounds on his phone so he
Yeah.
can clicking on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from now on.
Okay, so we're just gonna move on. You can keep looking at it, Rob. We also watched Abigail, like I said at the beginning. That is available on Peacock now.
On the cock.
On the cock. Yo, did you watch Abigail on the cock? Boy, if somebody just heard that, like in Subway or something, you might get yelled at for being inappropriate. All right, so put Abigail up here on the screen. And here is your synopsis for Abigail. A group of criminals kidnaps a teenage ballet dancer, the daughter of a notorious gang leader, in order to obtain a ransom of $50 million. But over time, they discover that she is not just an ordinary girl. After the kidnappers begin to diminish one by one, they discover to their increasing horror that they are locked inside with an unusual girl. I'll just say it. She's a vampire.
No, you ruined it. Honestly,
it says November 25th for HBO Max for The Exorcism.
it's way too long, Rob.
Yeah, that's way too long.
Okay.
That can't be right.
I don't believe you.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying.
No. So it was, I think they tried to sort of kind of keep it a secret that she's a vampire. But at the same, this is the only description of the movie. Like I rent it on Amazon because I'm not getting another streaming service. I'd rather just pay the $6 to watch it on Amazon.
Okay.
It actually in the description says she's a vampire, and some of the posters have her like in red, like or you can see like her face, like her mouth's covered in blood. So it's
pretty obvious that she's a vampire. And if you watch the trailer, you could tell she was a vampire.
Yeah, even some other reviews I listened to this movie a while ago said they weren't sure if they were trying to keep it a secret or not. Because I remember seeing the first couple previews for it, and I assumed it was some sort of vampire movie. So it's only a minor spoiler. I think you'll kind of figure it out.
Yeah,
anyway.
but I mean, it's a fun movie though.
Yeah, but I mean, it just starts off in the middle of a heist,
Yeah.
you know, a kidnapping, I guess you could say. And they just end up in this old ass mansion, I guess you could say. And Giancarlo Esposito is kind of like, they think he's in charge and he's paying them $50 million to do this. And there's how many people would you say?
1, 2, 3.
There's at least 4 of them, right?
There's like 7.
There's like 6. Yeah.
But anyways, you know, like the synopsis said here,
It's directed by the guys who brought us. Did they do the last 2 Screams or just the?
Yeah, I believe the last 2 Screams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you like the last 2 Screams, it's got Melissa. What's her name there, Rob?
Barrera.
She was in it, so she's pretty good in this.
She's no longer in Scream because of her pro-Palestine views. That was a big thing.
It's a big no-no.
But she was very good in this movie, I thought. Yeah. So, I mean, Dan Stevens really stole the show in this movie.
Dude, he's been on fire.
And if you're not familiar with Dan Stevens, he's actually in a very good movie with Micah Monroe called The Guest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
fantastic movie.
What's that?
It's a great movie.
Yeah, great movie it is. But he's been in a couple other things too, but he's very up and coming now.
The Apostle, that was a Netflix.
That was a good one on Netflix.
Yeah, that one's really
I
weird.
feel like that one might be a little underseen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
He's in the brand new Godzilla and Kong. He's Trapper.
Oh, was he really?
Yep.
Man, they got him.
He's in everything.
Yeah.
He's in that upcoming Cuckoo. We saw a preview for.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. But
Kevin
Dan
Durant was in it as well.
Yes, there were so many people. And
Catherine Newton.
What's his face?
Angus Cloud.
Angus Cloud from
RIP.
What show was he in?
Euphoria.
Euphoria. Yeah. He was a big part of Euphoria.
He was pretty funny in that movie. He's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah, he was good in that. But I mean, that's his character and everything he was in.
Still funny though.
Oh, I say everything he was in. He's in like 3 things. Yeah, I mean, just solid performances up and down, and it's pretty entertaining. It's got its funny parts. It's got that perfect mix of like funny, suspense, horror, and you just like by the time it's over with, you're like, man, I had fun watching this movie.
There's a couple of parts I laughed super hard,
and the gore is there too.
The gore is really good.
The gore was I liked how they killed the vampires off in this one. Like the way they just like fucking blow up.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, what did I just see?
It wasn't like they start burning. They just implode. Just like straight out of nowhere.
Yeah. They just blow up from inside.
Well, it's funny too. They're like, well, what we got to do with vampires? Like, well, what kind are we dealing with here? We're at Twilight or what kind are we dealing with here?
Yeah. Dan Stevens was very good in this. And, you know, I think this was the first time I really saw him like not be like a Terminator type character, I guess you could say. But he was very articulate and energetic, and he was the guy that, you know, he was the Chandler Bing of this movie.
He was like the
prick smart detective.
Ass. Yeah, he was the prick detective. Basically.
Yeah, he was a smart ass.
Sammy, those are fucking onions.
Yeah, that was a great part.
Yeah, I love that whole. We need some names. He just gives them Rat Pack names. That was fun. I like. I like you mentioned the mansion stuff. It really gave me like some Clue vibes.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil.
Yeah,
like the first game where they're in the mansion.
That's perfect. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Because I mean, there was a lot of rooms that you could tell just hadn't been occupied,
Right.
and they had like the cobwebs, and it just looked like a creepy old mansion.
Right, yeah, I love that. Like I say, just apart from sort of the kidnapping at the beginning of the movie, it's all set in the mansion. It's just those 5 or 6, 7 characters.
It's 6. Yeah, I think what's funny too is the only thing I had a problem with is like the power scaling of Abigail, where she can break open a steel door, but she has a hard time with the wooden door.
Yeah,
that's what kind of I have an issue with.
Hey, you got to look past those little
I know,
things if you're having fun.
I thought it was cool. They didn't overpower her. You can tell she could kill a person, but she wasn't like superhuman
because she's
lift everybody up.
Yeah, when somebody wore her out, she needed some time.
Yeah.
Catherine Newton was really good in this too.
Yeah.
Sammy. Yeah. And if you don't know who Catherine Newton is, she is the chick she played the daughter in Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yep.
She's in Freaky too. Wow.
Yeah. She was the main character.
Lead.
Yep.
And she was in, was there another one we were talking about? She was in
Blockers. Let me see here. Pokemon, Detective Pikachu. She's in that. Freaky. Ant-Man, the Winner, Lisa Frankenstein. That's the one I think he made.
Yeah, Lisa Frankenstein. Yeah, she's the main character in Lisa Frankenstein. She's so hot.
I heard that's actually pretty decent. Lisa Frankenstein.
It was just okay. Yeah. It's just okay. Don't let these people overhype it for you. Go in with low expectations, and you might come out and say it was great.
Okay.
Or you'll just be like,
does it have puppets?
There's no puppets. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That should be we need to start like a new TikTok series or something. Does it have puppets in it?
And you know what my favorite episode is Angel with the puppet ones. You want the hand? It's a funny ass. It's a great episode.
Yeah, Abigail was really solid though. I gave it a 3.5 star rating.
3.5 because it was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid evening.
I thought it was based off a movie called like The Daughter of Dracula or something like that before.
I don't know about that. But yeah, no, I'm with you guys. It was pretty solid. It gets to be a little too much toward the end. Maybe they do a little too much this and that and get a little convoluted. It's like an hour and 51 minutes. This movie was like at least 10 minutes too long, at least. Maybe 20 minutes. If this had been like a 100-minute banger, it would have been
100-minute banger.
Yeah, but it was just.
I would say more at the 10.
So you gave it a 3.5 with us too.
I gave it a 3.5 as well. Like I said, it was good. I put that in my review. The end gets a little meh, but it's good. It's like a nice vampire movie. If you're into horror movies, vampire movies.
Yeah, definitely. If you are a vampire fanatic, you're gonna love this movie. There's no beating around the bush here. I mean, if you're into that shit, you're gonna enjoy it.
It's you got your vampire movie, but there's a little bit of twist to it with how they work. So yeah. I
appreciate that they went different on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
too, like becoming a vampire. I mean,
he takes the cross and just laughs at it and throws away.
Yeah,
I mean, like stuff like that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So.
That it's always nice when somebody puts just a little bit of spin on something.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man, that's cool. I really enjoyed that.
I mean, I really like Daybreakers.
Daybreakers was cool.
Super different, but it was really good.
Yeah. And vampires have kind of toned down.
Yeah.
In recent years. There hasn't been as many vampire shows and flicks.
It's been more virus and zombies.
Yeah. I mean, viruses and zombies have been kind of ruled the horror genre.
Right.
Anyways, that it gets noticed,
and we don't really get any really good werewolf movies anyways.
No, that's another thing that they really haven't tried. Nobody's tried.
I think the best one I've seen is even Mr. P.S. I agree, probably Late Phases is probably the closest.
It's pretty good.
Late Phases was good.
That's probably the closest.
There was no fucking budget to that movie,
right?
And it was great,
right?
But yeah, just not a whole lot going on with.
Well, we got that new werewolf movie coming out second year. Frank Grillo. So that might be decent. Hopefully.
I'm down. I'll watch anything with Frank Grillo.
Me too.
I mean, chances are it's dog shit movie, but Frank Grillo,
he's gonna be punching somebody or shooting somebody.
He'll tear it the fuck up, man.
Yep.
Okay. So I went and saw Twisters.
With that beautiful man, Glenn Powell.
Yes, Glenn Powell. That's the only reason why I went and saw it.
He's on
Glenn
fire
Powell.
too. He's on fire like Dan Stevens.
I know, dude. Glenn Powell, dude, is can this guy miss right now?
I'm gonna say no.
I wonder how much he's worth now.
His stock is going up immensely.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know he's got like his passion project. Can you guys guess what it is?
No.
Captain Planet.
Really?
That's right.
Have I heard that before? Maybe I've heard that. I don't remember.
Yeah, like he really wants to make a Captain Planet movie. I thought I saw that in an interview somewhere.
He is coming back for Top Gun 3.
Oh, they're making another Top Gun?
Yep, Top Gun 3. They're working. I think they have a date when they're going to start shooting or working on it.
Mhm.
He didn't say.
Yeah. Okay. So where is Glenn Powell's net worth at? How much money the actor makes? Glenn Powell is worth an estimated $7 million to $10 million, according to several outlets. That's it.
Well,
He's got to be doubling.
He's going up now.
He just started breaking out.
Yeah, I know, but still,
he hasn't had his own big hit yet.
Yeah.
like that goddamn Twisters movie should have made him that money alone. You know.
Isn't Twisters actually a couple years old at this point? I can't remember. I feel like it's maybe one of those movies that's been done for a little while.
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe you can look that up for us. Here it is on Letterboxd. A storm season intensifies. The past of former storm chaser Kate Carter and reckless social media superstar Tyler Owens. If you can feel it, chase it. Collide when terrifying phenomena never seen before are unleashed. The pair and their competing teams find themselves squarely in the paths of multiple storm systems converging over central Oklahoma in the fight of their lives. Yeah. But man, this movie is actually pretty good. And I didn't expect anything out of it because I was like, there's no way that they're ever going to top the original Twister. I mean, that movie still holds up. It's still great. And, you see the previews of this and they're like, oh, they're doing twin tornadoes. I mean, come on, really? But they had to do some kind of serious storm thing to make it, a movie 30 years after the original. But yeah, everybody was genuinely good in this. And, oh man, who is the other lead guy in this? What is his name? Let's go here. Twisters.
Some of the reviews I've listened to said it really doesn't take off until like Glenn Powell shows up.
Yes.
And before that, it's a little me. But once he kind of shows up, he adds the movie star touch to it.
The movie opens up with the main girl, and you get to see her. She's trying to create some kind of data to where they can get a grant for college or whatever, and for their research. And she she kind of makes a mistake in her judgment, and they kind of end up on the other side of a tornado. Some things happen, and it kind of steers her away from storm chasing for so many years until her friend, who is a part of that accident, Anthony Ramos, Javi is his name in this. Okay. You know who I'm talking about now, don't you? He played in, let me see here.
Transformers.
Yes, he was in Transformers, Rise of the Beast. Yep. You'll recognize him once you've seen.
Yeah.
But anyways, he kind of brings her back in. He goes and he shows her, and he's like, listen, I got this plan. We can help people, because that's what they wanted to do originally, to kind of beat the Twisters somehow. And yeah, it's funny, like how much technology is kind of advanced from the first to this one.
Right.
And now they're bringing out all these like radars and all this other stuff. And that's part of the thing. They've got this new technology, and they want to try to map these Twisters so they can learn how to beat them and stop them from destroying neighborhoods or whatever you want to say.
Right.
But yeah, she ends up, ends up getting talked back into that. And she, they're out, trying to get this program that they want to do with these radars to work. And that's when she comes in the past with Glenn Powell. And that's really, like you said, from the reviews you talked about, that's when the movie kind of kicks up and starts going and going. Right. And Glenn Powell's a crazy dude. He's a crazy YouTuber in this movie.
Is that what he is?
Oh, yeah. He's a YouTube storm chaser.
Okay.
So,
I gotcha.
But he's got this badass, let me say, the only truck that's in this movie is a Dodge Rams.
Of course it is.
And, you know, he's got one that's very similar to the one that Bill Paxton drove in the original Twister.
Right.
And
the big red one, I think it was a big
but this one's all like, you know, rigged out. And I mean, like, he's got these plants that he can plant into the ground so the Twister doesn't, you know,
I saw
suck
that
him
trailer.
up.
I was like, what it was.
Yeah, they're like, they're crazy, you know, they're on their YouTube live and they're shooting fireworks off inside the Twisters. I mean, so that's what they're kind of doing.
Right.
And there's not really much of a plot. I mean, other than
that, what you just mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, they really just kind of get into it. You know, once she goes back out, she meets them and then they're, you know, they're on the path of storms, you know, trying to get this thing to work. And, like I said, it's not better than the original. I don't even know if I'd tell you to go to the movies to see it other than that, to have that experience with the sound and the feel.
Yeah.
So if you want that, definitely go to the movies. If you know, if you're not big on that experience, then I would say stay at home for this one. But
there was some internet discourse over the last couple of weeks about people were calling the original Twister like a classic or whatever. And some people were saying, you know, even when it came out, it wasn't like rated that highly, but it's just sort of become like one of those cable staples.
Yeah. That
everybody's watched, you know, 20 times on PBS or whatever.
Yeah. TNT or USA or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, and that's exactly what this movie's going to be. It's going to be on HBO Max, or Max, should we say. Then it's going to be on TNT, and it's going to play every weekend for the next 20 years. And they might do back-to-back Twister and Twisters with it.
Oh, you know they will.
But Glenn Powell's really good in this, and if they were smart, they get some merchandise out from his character, because his character's always selling T-shirts each town they go to. And that's a big, you know, discussion in the movie. Like, why are you selling T-shirts? You know, these people just got their homes destroyed.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense either. But
you should look up on Ranker and see if they got a list of like best natural disasters.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about that too. But yeah, like I said, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It's somewhere in between average and fun. And there's some great scenes in this movie for sure. And great moments towards the end, but it's really kind of slow up until you get Glenn Powell's introduction, and Glenn Powell steals the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he totally steals it away from the other 2 characters that they start you off with. But, you know, if Glenn Powell's not in this movie, it's not a 3. It might be a 2. So
that's number 1.
Yeah. I've kind of out on the way over here. I even heard a review where they basically said it's a fun summer kind of movie. Blockbuster, you know?
Yeah. So what do you want to do? Go through disaster movies real quick. Ranker.
Top 40 natural disasters.
Ranker disaster movies.
Look at number 1.
All right. Putting it up here. All right. You've seen number 1. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I've seen it. I just saw it.
Oh, man. I don't. Independent or no? Armageddon.
Close, but no.
Twister. Okay, I can live with that. I'll up arrow that.
I don't think it's number 1.
Yeah, I don't think it should be.
The Day After Tomorrow's number 2.
Still haven't ever seen it.
Really? It's a decent watch. You should watch it.
I remember it being all over the previews.
See, I would put that down, and then I'll put the next one up.
Oh yeah, Armageddon is. I would have said, you know, I would have thought Armageddon would have been first. Yeah, it's a great fucking movie.
I mean, you can't. 90s Bay. What are you gonna say?
Right. It's a great fucking movie. It's fun, and it's like thinking about it now. You know, it's silly as fuck. Why would they ever send oil riggers up into space?
Get off the nuclear warhead.
I love the Ben Affleck commentary.
Isn't he drunk in that?
Yeah, something like that. I sound like I'm drunk right now, but he was like, Michael, wouldn't we just train astronauts to
be easier to train them the other way around?
Yeah. He was like, shut the fuck up, Ben.
Shut up, Ben.
Shut the fuck up.
What would you guys want? We don't want to pay taxes.
Ooh, Dante's Peak.
That's what I'm saying. That's
a good fucking movie. Yeah. I just rewatched that not too long ago.
I need to watch it. I always liked it.
Deep Impact. Man,
I don't remember which one Deep Impact is.
Is that one with Morgan Freeman as the president?
What's the little synopsis there? I can't.
A collision course with Earth. A comet has a dire consequences in the star-studded disaster flick featuring Robert Duvall, Tay Leone,
Yeah, Tay Leone. Okay, she's the
and
one.
Morgan Freeman is the president.
And it's got to be Elijah Wood and Cece Sobieski or whatever.
I may have
Yeah.
seen that one on TV at some point, but I
You've
don't-
seen it. I guarantee you've seen
Yeah,
it.
That's
it's,
definitely not.
It's just one of those. It's always on TNT or
That's definitely not one I
whatever
ever
is
sat
on.
down and watched.
2012 with John Cusack. That was a really good movie. I'll bump that up.
Never seen that one either.
You should watch it. That's good. Volcano. Oh, come on. Yeah. We got
I just rewatched Volcano the other day on Hulu,
That's what Tommy.
and
Lee
I was
Jones,
so
right?
into it.
Yeah.
That's really, and it's in New York. or
Yeah, I
California.
bought this. I bought this in Dante's Peak last year and watched them
Yeah,
both.
this was.
Did they come out at the same time?
Yeah, they were
Okay.
very close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I,
I
said, I
liked
just I just watched it. It was very. I was way into it.
Perfect Storm. Are we serious? I'm downvoting that.
Good
That
movie, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I
shouldn't be
don't-
in the top 10.
No.
The Impossible. I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
That's the one where like the Philippines flood or whatever it
With
is
the-
flood.
with the-
like,
yeah,
oh, the
tidal wave.
tsunami?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's got
I've seen the clip
Tom
of them
Holland.
in the pool and then the
Yeah.
tsunami hits.
dude. It's
that's about. That's what I.
It's got. Yeah, it's bad.
I remember the clips and like the preview, and
Yeah.
I think Matt Damon's in it.
Yeah.
Tom Holland's in it. Young Tom Holland.
Is Titanic a natural disaster movie?
I mean, it's an iceberg.
It's an iceberg.
They did that to themselves, though. It's nothing, natural disaster wise.
Good movie, yes. Should it be on the top 10 natural disasters? I don't know about that.
Greenland, yes. Now Greenland, I'll vote up. Greenland was excellent.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen that, but I heard it was good.
That
Yeah,
was-
you'll enjoy that
I
one.
think they're supposed to be making a sequel to it.
Oh shit, what happened here?
Poseidon Adventure. I like that.
What
but not
did that change it? It disappeared. Where'd Greenland go?
Did it go up? Because Titanic just went to number 11. Probably went up.
So there's the Impossible, Perfect Storm.
Greenland, yep.
Greenland, it went up.
Took up
Wow.
2 spots.
Wow.
That was quick.
I did that.
It's a podcast.
No one else. I did that.
Poseidon
What,
Adventure.
what,
I
what
don't
would
know
you
about
do
that.
with this power?
Do you know what it's like to have a change on a ranker list? I do.
I do.
Okay, so Titanic's down to 11. Let's just help that out some more.
Yeah.
I'll let the power go to your head now.
I like that movie, but
I love the Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
I was gonna say that's a
disaster.
PBS one right
It's-
there.
Who knows
Gene
how many
Hackman?
times I saw that one on TCM or whatever.
Yeah. Gene
I don't
Hackman.
remember. I don't remember what happens though to sink the ship. I don't remember if that's like a natural disaster movie.
I thought I saw
It's something
they
exploded,
remade
I
that
think.
recently, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've watched the remake too.
Wasn't it Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
That one?
Somebody that's in, or no, Quaid. Is it Jack Quaid or not Jack Quaid?
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
See, I think that was him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that original Poseidon.
Jack
Adventure
Quaid.
with
he was a baby.
Gene Hackman and all that. Yeah, good movie. I
Yeah,
don't
Gene
remember. Like I said, I don't remember what happens that makes the ship capsize and turn upside down. But a great adventure kind of movie.
I thought it was like an explosion in like the engine room or
Something
something,
like
and
that.
topples.
Isn't it like a wave or something?
Maybe.
Like an earthquake in the ocean makes a wave. I can't remember.
So I'd like to rewatch that one. It's been so long since I've seen it.
The Towering Inferno, some Steve McQueen.
I've never actually seen this one all the way through, but it's like the one where the building catches on fire and they're all kind of like stuck at the
I
top.
don't think
Yeah. San Andreas. Yeah, I'll go down that. It's
Never
not-
saw that one.
I mean, it's
The Core. Come on now, people.
yeah.
Again, it's the one I remember like being on TV a lot, but I only ever actually watched it where they got to drill down to the core.
Yeah.
Aaron Eckhart. or
It's
whoever's in that.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fact that they got money to make this movie, it's like, come on.
It was Poseidon. It was called wasn't a Poseidon Adventure, Poseidon the remake.
Yeah.
And that Kurt Russell, Josh Lucas,
Kurt Russell. There we go.
Richard Dreyfuss.
I'm not familiar.
There it is right there. Poseidon. Josh Lucas, Kurt Russell. Okay. Geostorm. Geostorm is all right.
I heard it was kind of like silly fun. kind of
Yeah.
movie.
It's from I think that's a Ronald Emmerich movie, isn't it?
Geostorm.
Rolling.
No,
Emmerich,
Wolfgang Peterson did this one.
the other guy
Yeah. The other guy.
who does those kind of
Yeah.
epic disaster kind of things.
Or no, wait. That changed on me. Dean Devlin. Sorry.
Yeah, Dean Devlin.
I think I had another effect there. The Wave. Don't remember The Wave.
That's good.
Is that the remake?
That's
2015.
that's the Finnish, I think maybe Swedish.
I think I saw that. I thought that was pretty decent.
Well, they
Yeah.
have the Wave and then they have the Quake. It's like a
Yeah.
sequel to it.
Knowing.
Never saw that one.
Who cares about that movie?
It's
Earthquake.
yeah, you can say it's a disaster, but there's a twist at it.
I mean, this list is like updating constantly.
Crawl.
Crawl
It's not
was-
a disaster. It's a good movie, but it's not a disaster. Well,
Yeah, it is.
the
Hurricane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take that back. I didn't know there's fucking super
Oh,
crocs.
you
in the movie.
moved that up to number 20. There you go, buddy.
Fuck,
You just
I'm tearing shit up right now.
so much power.
So
The
much
power that I willed.
Are you Anchor Jesus?
All right. The Day the Earth Stood Still. I don't know if that's quite a.
Wasn't the remake had Keanu Reeves?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not really.
Oh, Hard Rain.
Hard Rain.
Fuck yeah.
Hard Rain was
Disaster
Disaster
that
movie,
up.
I don't know. Floods, okay, but great, fun movie. I really love it.
was it
Morgan
Chris-
Freeman, Christian Slater, Randy Quaid. Before Randy Quaid was, full blown crazy.
Yep.
The Happening.
So-
I
haven't
couldn't
seen
get-
that one.
I couldn't get into that.
I like The Happening. I think
It's
you'll like it
okay,
too.
but I couldn't get into it.
Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. That was okay.
I didn't watch that one.
All right. Now we're in.
Rob movies there.
Yeah.
What was the grow up one? What was that one? Meteor? I don't know what that is.
Meteor with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Oh.
By the way, we got to have a conversation about you need to be a little bit more constructive with your time, Rob.
So what? I can really, I watch shitty movies. So I understand why you
Pull up the
Wow.
letterbox. Pull up the evidence.
what is this? Law and Order?
This is this is like your intervention. You didn't know you were getting it.
Yeah. It totally is. What's your name on Letterbox?
Robzilla 1985.
Okay.
Sometimes when I feel like Robzilla hasn't logged enough movies in a while, I'll go and check just in case I missed them.
Hmm.
And then I'll realize what he's been watching. Like, oh no, I probably just blocked it out of my mind.
Yeah. I mean, we got to
You can
talk
always-
about.
You can always tell. You can almost always tell like what he's watching for the show versus what he's watching on his free time.
Yeah.
I'm sure the same is true about me, but it's always
Like, what on earth possessed you to watch this movie?
I saw it on the people I follow on
Adam
TikTok.
Chaplin, 2011.
It's Italian.
It's Italian.
Italian.
It's Italian.
God
what's the
awful.
synopsis there, Sleazy, at the top?
Set in a fictional country of Heaven Valley, the film is the story of a man, Adam, who, following the suspicious death of his wife, begins to investigate her murder, and in doing so, discovers the involvement of local mafia boss Denny Richards. Denny Richards, unable to trust the police, corrupt and controlled by Denny. Adam, consumed by anger, summons a demon. Come on, Rob.
Oh,
Well,
he's
Summons a demon who offers him superhuman strength and dark powers. The demon follows him during his trip, promising to lead Adam to the door of the murderer if he does everything the demon asks. This unleashes a bloody war that will bring Adam, the demon, on his side against the police department with all its dark allies. The fight begins and it will be extreme.
So, Rob, were you expecting like a?
Wow. I hit the table and it.
You got so much power.
Okay, I didn't do it again.
Were you expecting like a John Wick with demons out of that one or something?
No,
like that?
I had the feel of it. It was going to be. There's a video game called The Darkness, and I feel like it's going to be kind of like that feel to it.
You got too much time, Rob. Something's got to happen here.
It has disappointed Frogman.
Yeah.
What was wrong with Frogman, Robzilla? You never review this movie, so you don't tell us what was wrong with it.
It's a found footage, but it's super slow. Like it's super slow for probably about more than half the movie.
I love the Jeepers Creepers Reborn review here. This will be the worst film for 2022, hands down.
Yes, that's true. Still is.
Dirty Pop. How was Dirty Pop?
I don't remember all that stuff that happened in that with Lou Pearlman. So it's really interesting. They do interview some of the boy bands, some of the members, but not like the big ones. I mean, they interview like Chris Kirkpatrick.
Well, you log everything.
Mhm.
Low lives. Okay. Well, you're kind of slacking here, Rob. It looks like. Well, this isn't in order, is it?
Yeah, you got to hit the diary tab over on the left there. The green
There we
diary.
go.
There you go.
Godzilla, Kong, and New Empire, Deadpool,
That's a fun movie.
Wolverine. Sausage Party, Foodtopia. That's right.
There's times where you just need some just stupid shit funny to watch, and that's what it is.
That opening episode was
You
it
have
was
to
great.
get the beginning of episode 6. It's wild.
Skywalker's a love story.
That shit gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it about?
Two people from Russia and one. They're called Skywalker, so they like climb these buildings, break in, get around security, and then climb them. And then they'll do like overview shots with a drone and stuff. But he does it, and then she sees some information about him and his skywalking, so she learns to do it, and they end up.
Oh, I saw this the other. These people, I never feel sorry for them when they fall off those.
I
buildings.
don't either, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I couldn't watch that, dude. Wicked City, what the fuck, Rob?
That's some classic anime there.
Yeah.
He watched it.
Well, it's not very good for Rob. It's only
Obviously
2.5.
It's now with anime, it has to be series now to get the story and everything. When it's a movie, it's kind of hard.
Knock at the Cabin. Do you like Knock at the Cabin?
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
I think David Pista did really good.
The Foggy Mountain. 1.5 stars. Rob, you really have commitment, man. I'll tell you that.
I appreciate that.
Worst roommate ever. Okay. I think we've seen enough. Rob's he's stuck somewhere in between documentaries and very shitty movies and movies that shouldn't even be made. And
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, that's really bad when you're below like really shitty movies. Like it just shouldn't have even been made.
Mm-hmm.
Like what a waste of money. They could have just donated that to like a homeless shelter. It had more impact on the world. Okay, so we are at our last segment of the show. It's all about Deadpool right now. All about Deadpool.
And Wolverine.
So I just got to say, best experience I've had in the theater in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it was great, man. It was great. How about you guys? How did you feel about it?
So much fun. It's nice seeing
So much fun.
Yeah,
So
nice
much
seeing,
fun.
Wade Wilson back. And
Let me talk about this before we talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. And let me try to say it in a way that it will be able to stay up on YouTube and TikTok if Sleazy clips it for this. People are already pulling this didn't happen in our theater, by the way. It didn't happen with us.
Thank God.
But people are already pulling out their phones in the middle of the movie and recording whole scenes,
cameos,
and putting it on TikTok and whatever.
It's really a fucking poison, dude.
And they will literally, the heading on the video is spoilers, like, oh, don't watch this as spoilers. And then in text, in big letters on the bottom of the screen, it tells you what the spoilers are. So like you just tried to warn me that there are spoilers and you told me what the spoilers are at the same time. That doesn't help. It doesn't do anything.
Well,
if you at least wrote spoilers in big letters and then played the video, I would have time to move away.
It's not like you have the opportunity to not view these on TikTok because you never know what's coming next. And I saw my first one today.
I sent you guys a message on Wednesday. Keep in mind, the movie is not even out on Wednesday. It's like advanced screening.
Right.
Technically, the Thursday night screening we went to was like a preview screening, even though that's the norm anymore.
Yeah.
But I was seeing these on Wednesday before the movie was even technically officially out.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, dude.
I saw it and I was like,
it's a problem.
It is. It's a big problem.
And TikTok, I've reported several videos today and they're still up.
I'm sure nothing's because they're not technically prohibited by
they should be prohibited. It's copyrighted material.
I did one, but it was like had racism in it.
Yeah. That's what you have to do. You have to report it for violence or something like that, and they'll take it down right away to investigate.
I didn't put any comment. I was like,
but I'm starting to leave comments on it because these people, they just don't know what they're doing.
They don't care.
Or they don't care.
You saw the one guy, he just nonchalantly, he was like, why are you shaming me like Cersei's in Game of Thrones? Because you fucking deserve it.
The funny thing is that even after he responded to you, he responded with a spoiler.
Yeah.
So if anybody was reading the comments, it would have been a spoiler in the comments too.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is, if hypothetically somebody pulled out their phone and recorded a scene in the theater,
she got punched in the face
and were perhaps beaten, maybe to death, by other people in the theater. And if I was a person on the jury of those people, they would be not guilty. That's all I'm saying. 100% not guilty. You are free to go. So,
well, you should get like an award for it.
Right.
That's kind of like a citizen's arrest, a citizen's beating. It should be legal. A citizen's beating when you're doing something stupid.
At this point, nobody would say a word and just not say anything.
And I saw the same people were doing with long legs too. They weren't doing it as bad, but it was like a couple weeks after, a week or two after. But like the movie's not even out yet, and it's video of spoilers.
Like people that haven't seen the movie are gonna see these, and you just don't fucking care that it's gonna ruin that experience for them. Stop posting spoilers and clips from inside the theater. I don't want to watch you watching the movie.
And it's not clout. Like you don't get anything for having seen the movie a day before everybody else.
I think some people, I get it. You like the movie, you like the scenes, and you want to rewatch them. Okay, cool. Don't post it on.
Right.
Don't post it.
Yeah.
If you want to record it and watch it on your phone,
don't record it. But if you do, certainly don't share it.
Yeah. But that goes back to our original point we've been trying to bring home here for years now. You shouldn't have your cell phone even on in the theater or out in the open. Just put it in your pocket. You'll be fine for 2 hours.
Literally, we go to our theater. As soon as Greg Marcus shows up on the big screen, like, oh, phone's going to the pocket.
Yeah.
I'm done.
As much as I hate Greg Marcus.
Well, even when the lights
he's the worst part of the theater.
Even when the lights start dimming, I just turn it right off.
I can be, if you have it out there in the previews, maybe because you're finishing up whatever you're texting or whatever, fine, whatever. But as soon as those lights go down for like the third time or whatever, like it's gone. Put it away.
But listen, great experience in the movies for this. This might be the funnest movie I think I've ever watched in theaters.
Well, especially 2024, I would say. This year so far.
This year? Yep. Okay. Especially, I was like waiting for him to like give me some like timeline,
But yes, what I would actually describe it, I was thinking of it while the movie was playing, was this was giving like original Avengers vibes.
Yeah.
Because this was obviously, we all know we're going to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine in the yellow suit. That alone is pretty cool. And we're not going to talk about it yet, but when we get to it, like the surprises are probably the best thing about the movie. And it's what really kind of puts it over the top of the fun experience. I think Hugh Jackman's Wolverine kind of carries the movie for the most part.
I agree.
But it's those surprises that really put it over the top. They got the people hooting and hollering and clapping.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Definitely the cameos. And I mean, how many times did you hear everybody collectively clapping?
Like,
and
oh my God.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it was very reminiscent to Avengers, type feel in the theater. Haven't had it in a long time. Right. Have not had it in a long time, especially with Marvel movies. But this movie just delivered. And everything you've wanted to see with these characters on the big screen, they made sure you freaking got it.
Yes.
And I can't complain. Excellent movie. Excellent movie. I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. I know you don't quite think it's a 5-star movie. What'd you say to me after we got out of the theater?
I'm really like a 3.5, maybe 4.
Oh,
but like the thing is,
it's at least 4.5.
Those
4.5 for me.
Surprises I'm talking about, if you don't have any like ties to them, then they would, like if you were sitting at home watching a movie by yourself and this person showed up or this happened and you didn't have any idea who they really were, what they were about, you'd be like, oh, okay.
And I would think then you're not really a fan of this type of movie to begin with.
But you got to think like 10 years from now.
Don't make me accidentally say a spoiler here.
When somebody's watching this movie 10 years from now, and some of the references are even older than they already are, they're not going to care. If you were a younger person, especially like this is rated R, so you can only be so young seeing it. But if you were a younger person, like in your teens seeing this, you definitely wouldn't have as much of a connection to some of these characters.
That's not true.
Maybe even Hugh Jackman.
That's not necessarily true because
I think it is.
No. Listen here. Chances are the people that are watching this movie, their parents hipped them through those movies growing up.
Maybe.
And they collectively have an interest in it. It's like when kids go and watch Transformers with their parents and Ghostbusters and how many people do we know? Kids watch Power Rangers. Yeah, they know who all the original Power Rangers are.
Or even the toy shows.
So that's not necessarily true, PBS.
Yeah, but I think I stand by the criticism that if you don't have the connection to some of the people in this, then it's less of an experience for sure.
This was all about fan service. So take that, shove it in your fucking face. It was fan service at its best. I loved it. 5 stars, 5 stars.
5-star experience.
Hey, that's enough for 5 stars.
Like I say, you should, if you have any interest in seeing this movie, I mentioned, I sent a message to my other group chat telling like, you should go see this in the theater. I can't tell you why in some cases, but you should definitely go see this in the theater.
Stay off TikTok.
Because I know some of them are fans of certain things that get referenced in this movie. And I'm like, you'll want to see this on the big screen. You will want to see this.
Yeah, you got to see it on the big screen
with people hooting and hollering and clapping.
Yeah. It's just like, you know, Endgame and, you know, Infinity Wars. It's that type where you have to see it with a group of people.
So this was the movie the movie review I left on it. I said the movies are back, baby, and we should be thanking Marvel Jesus himself, Ryan Reynolds. I haven't had that much fun at a theater in quite some time. Drop whatever plans you have. Get to the theater and see this on the biggest screen possible. 5-star movie all the way. That's what I did.
I'll be curious to see. We talked about it already. You made your TikTok.
Yeah,
it's already made what was it, like 30-some million, almost 40 million on the Thursday nights alone or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious to see what the weekend box office ends up being. I'm curious to see how the second weekend.
It's going to make $1 billion. There's just too much buzz around this movie.
We talked about it. Like we walked into that theater on a Thursday night and it was packed.
Yes,
like
jam packed.
Like the whole full concession stand open.
It felt like we were at the movies on a Friday night back in the day.
Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a bit. Not even on some of the bigger movies that we go to.
Man, what about the display of acting from Hugh Jackman in this movie?
Dude, it's
playing multiple versions of Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know, not to spoil anything, but then the Wolverine that we got in this movie was very damaged, broken, and had a lot of emotion. And he went all out. He really cares about this role, and I got to give him credit. What other dude would play this role for how many years now?
It's over.
He's going to be playing for 90.
Yeah,
until he's 90.
I like how that was a big joke. They got you until you're 90 now.
I'm curious to know what kind of contract he did sign to be in any more of these movies, if he's going to be in any more of these movies.
Yeah. And I mean, he's not just a guy that signs up and plays it, but he goes 110%. He gets his body in shape. He looks the part, you know, when he goes to play it.
You can see, if it wasn't clear even in like Logan, but you can see why he has been like the backbone, the adamantium skeleton, if you will, of this franchise for 20 plus years now. He really, when they picked him, he was kind of an unknown guy.
Yeah.
And he's cared about it.
Yeah.
And you can see, I know sometimes you see it on social media, like his interactions with Wolverine's fans, even when he's doing other projects, is almost always like, you can tell he liked playing that character and likes the interactions around it. And I'm sure it's made him a ton of money and all that too.
Oh,
so
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That would be an interesting thing to find out. Like, how much money has Hugh Jackman made playing Wolverine?
He probably doesn't have to do any other projects but X-Men if he wanted to, or do anything.
No, well, he's a talented guy, Rob. Yeah. He can sing, he can dance.
There's a joke about him doing the whole second act of The Music Man or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he can just do whatever he wants. He doesn't worry about it. He can do with the roles he wants to do.
But you just said he can only play Wolverine.
No, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he can do. Yeah, he's got that kind of clout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's been like that for years.
He doesn't have to worry about paycheck. He can do whatever he wants. It's like Robert Downey Jr. He can do whatever movie he wants. He doesn't have to worry about money.
How much has Hugh Jackman made from being?
Screen Rant has an article. Not that I like Screen Rant all that much sometimes. Hugh Jackman's net worth and how much he made from playing Wolverine.
Okay. What you got there, PBS?
Scrolling around here. It wasn't just a table. Hugh Jackman's net worth is reported $180 million. Come on. There we go. There we go. So whatever this is, here's a table. So in X-Men, apparently his salary was $500,000. X2, X-Men United, $1 million. X-Men Last Stand, $5 million. X-Men Origins Wolverine, $20 million. Wolverine, $20 million. X-Men Days of Future Past, that he was in for like 10 seconds, $7 million. Or not Days of Future. I'm thinking of First Class.
Yeah, Days of Future Past. He was in.
I still haven't
He's the
seen
main
Days of
character,
Future.
Yeah, that's a Wolverine story all the way.
Yeah. I was trying to find out how much he made here.
Nothing, huh? Can't see it. Can't see it.
Scrolling. Screen rant's being. Screen rant.
Yeah, but man, he was awesome in this movie, dude. I really enjoyed his performance, and like we said, the whole caring about the role and just giving it his all. I mean, he's not phoning it in for a cash grab, even though, let's face it, it's a big cash grab for him.
Yeah.
But man, and if this is the last we see of him, what a way to go out as Wolverine. Even though we got a nice ending for him in Logan, this was beyond acceptable.
Yeah.
Everything you wanted to see out of Wolverine, and hopefully they bring Wolverine back in some capacity, when they reboot the X-Men series over in Marvel Studios.
In some form.
Yeah.
Says his reported earnings for Deadpool and Wolverine are between 20 and 40 million. So
Okay.
he's got enough money, even though he did just have that divorce.
Yeah. He seems like such a nice guy too.
Yeah.
He really does. Every interview I hear him, and like I watched the what's the hot sauce show? Hot Ones. Him and Ryan Reynolds were on that, and I'm like, he's such a nice guy. Like, I just can't say a bad thing about him.
You'd think if you were doing a job that you like and making that kind of money, you'd be kind of a happy person. Obviously, there are plenty of rich, miserable bastards out there.
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
It's it's always nice when you see somebody like, oh, okay, he's enjoying himself.
Deadpool and Wolverine, you got to see it in theaters, and you got to see it right away because somebody on the internet's going to spoil it for you.
Bastards.
So get to the theater, do whatever you got to do for that $15, $16 ticket. And if you want to go to the concession stand, you're going to spend another $20 there.
Make it a movie night. Like I said, I'm not quite sure. I was telling my other buddy today, he's like, I got to catch up on some of these movies. I'm like, in a way, you don't have to be caught up to watch this, but it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely references in there that I caught that I'm sure other people didn't catch. And there's definitely references I'm sure I didn't catch.
Yeah.
Well, and if you haven't seen the, Loki and stuff like that, some things might be a little confusing to you because they kind of just wrap this right into the MCU. And obviously they can do that with, the TVA and all that. But it's still paced good enough. The jokes are there, the action's there, and man, it's a blood fest.
Yes.
Just say that right
so
now.
Good.
I mean, you're gonna have fun regardless if you don't get a few things. And listen, I didn't catch every joke in this movie. I was too busy laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, so I was laughing, and then it was, it just kicked over into something else. I'm like, wait, what'd she say? And it just keeps moving, and you don't have time to process, certain things.
If anything, there's almost a little too much of some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like my favorite moments of the movie are almost always when Ryan Reynolds shuts up. I hate to say it that way.
But that's the whole point of this movie. It's Deadpool.
He's the merc
he still overdoes it a little bit. They could have pulled back on some of the stuff, and I think it would have been fine.
I hated Deadpool until Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool.
I think you mean you hated people who liked Deadpool.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, I hated people who cosplayed it as Deadpool, which made me hate the character even more. But now I love what Ryan Reynolds has done here. And he never gave up on it, even after that shitty fucking Wolverine X-Men Origins movie.
Yeah.
And I've seen where a lot of people are saying that's like one of the best Wolverine movies. I'm like, you fucking smoking crack.
I haven't seen that one. So
You're not missing anything, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
On paper, it sounds like good. Like, right? Isn't he in like samurai times or whatever, and there's swords and stuff?
That's the second one, the Wolverine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for people to say they enjoyed the first Wolverine movie over that, I actually watched that when I came home from Deadpool and Wolverine, and that fucking train scene in that movie. They're on a bullet train and they're fighting on top of the bullet train, and every once in a while they just kind of hit each other and fly up and then land on another part of the train. It's awesome. So and if you're not caught up, go watch that movie. I mean, you'll have fun, definitely. But okay.
Yeah, like I said, the vibes. If you haven't felt what we've been talking about, if you haven't felt that in a while with some of these movies, and you're even interested a little bit, I think you'll go and have a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't see anybody not having a good time in this unless you're a prude and you know you're some pompous asshole that thinks all these things are beneath you.
Yeah,
and you're not going to have a good time.
I don't know if you guys ever listen to Jim Cornette, but sometimes he's got a line where he says, you know, that's the kind of thing that people like, and for people that like that kind of thing, they like that kind of thing, or something like that.
Yeah.
So if this is your kind of thing, it's probably your kind of thing, and if you don't really think well, it might not be.
Jim Cornette. I just shared you know, they're calling these memes now, like, you know, TikTok videos and stuff.
Him slamming shit down and like leaving.
Yeah, he was like, if you don't want to fucking talk about wrestling, we're fucking done.
I'm gonna go to my room and you can call me.
Yeah,
dude.
Jim Cornette, man, you gotta love him.
Best part is him talking about Vince Russo.
Oh yeah, he goes off on that dude.
Live that motherfucker.
All right, so here's your warning. If you haven't seen the movie, just stop here. Like us, follow us, comment, all that shit. You know. All right.
Stop now.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Spoilers. Stop.
Your warning is over, and we're going to start talking about the actual movie now. But man, I fucking loved everything about this movie. God. I'm a little sad that they kind of Marina Backerman just wasn't in this a whole lot.
Yeah, that was
and the man turned, you know, went through time and changed events for her, and suddenly they're just writing it off, you know, as they had a falling out and broke up. I'm like,
part of my problem with the movie as a movie is the opening with the way I can't remember, they start the fight scene and they go back to the flashbacks and they come back to the fight scene.
Yeah. Every Deadpool movie's pretty much been like that. Like, how did I get myself in this situation?
Yeah, let's go back.
And I feel like they could have, I think they just did that, excuse me, almost just to have like Happy Hogan in there.
Yeah.
And make a couple of Tony Stark references. Like, I feel like they could have cut that all out. And like you said, had him interact with her more. And she could have been the one telling him kind of like, you know, I need you to be a more kind of selfless kind of person or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that would, because the beginning of the movie is kind of the weakest part. Like I say, once Hugh Jackman shows up and all that, everything kind of starts rolling.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of, you know,
once it goes until it ends. But does this have like the best opening to a movie?
It's amazing.
I mean,
that scene is something.
Yeah.
What was it, like 8 minutes of him like killing TVA agents with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton
from Logan?
Yeah, from Logan. He digs him up.
I saw a guy ranting saying they ruined Logan. This guy was almost fucking crying.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Dude, the comments, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
They're like, they didn't mess anything. Like, they left him dead in that universe.
Yeah.
So they didn't mess anything.
Yeah, that's the end of his story.
Yeah, that's the end of his story.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the movie, is that there are other universes.
Yeah. The multiverse. That's what it is.
I saw where the director of Logan was like, they're crushing storytelling.
Mangold.
Yeah, whatever his name is. He said they're crushing storytelling with the multiverse. And I'm like,
I think
actually it's more creative, I think, but
the headlines are taking it all out of whack as usual. But he's I think he was more saying that, like, trying to squeeze all these movies together to fit them together is a bad idea. And obviously, you know, plenty of directors and all that have trouble with
insert foot in mouth.
Yeah.
It's a very successful movie already. So, but yeah, I mean, that opening where he's just killing people to NSYNC and he's doing the dance and everything. Oh, it's just so great, man. And the music in this movie, I fucking loved every song that they played.
Top tier.
Yes.
Great soundtrack.
Like I said, I told you guys before, I think they overdid it, but the ones that hit, kind of like the jokes, they overdid it, but the ones that hit.
Yeah.
They do, but it's fitting for the character. So I don't get too mad about it.
Like we said, this Iris Goo Goo Dolls is funny. When
oh my God.
When they keep referring back to the one character.
Yeah. the guy at the TVA.
Yeah. You calling HR? Your wife work there?
But you know, Like a Prayer, when they play that in the end,
it was perfect. Like how they're walking out ready to, you know, fucking just take on whatever challenge meets them.
That was something else. That was a good pick.
Let's fucking go.
All the Deadpools was great, man. They were so awesome. Matthew McConaughey was the cowboy one.
Deadpool cowboy.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion was the head.
Yeah, I didn't even I couldn't even hear to
Yeah.
see if it was him, because people once again, you're laughing so hard at certain parts you miss a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
And like I saw him talking as I was wiping tears out of my eyes, from laughing so much, but I couldn't quite get a good grasp on the voice of who it was, so I was shocked when I heard that. Makes sense though.
I don't remember it particularly sounding like him either. I'd have
Yeah.
to
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, well, he didn't talk
not
that
not
much.
that he has
Yeah,
a
he had,
super
like, he had
distinctive voice. Or
Yeah, he had that like one part
one,
where,
2 lines.
yeah, but man, that scene was crazy, dude, where they're fighting all the Deadpools and there's just blood everywhere and people are getting decapitated, shot in the head. And man,
we didn't even mention what do they call him? Nice Pool.
Nice
Yeah.
Pool.
How did I know he didn't regenerate?
Yeah. He's the only one who doesn't.
Dogpool.
He's like, I think I hurt. I'm dead. I'm dying.
I think Dogpool might be like the shining moment of this movie.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people really love those scenes with Dogpool and the music
The
that
slow
they dropped
motion
with
him
it.
pick up Dogpool when they were getting ready to fight all the Deadpools, and Hugh Jackman just like so fucking disgusted with him.
When I love that none of the Deadpools wanted to kill Wolverine because he was holding Dogpool.
Yeah,
like they respected Dogpool that much.
Yeah, they're like
what do they call it? Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. Yeah.
Mary Poppins.
He's just walking by slow.
Would you like me to be your papa now?
Your papa.
I mean, this movie has Ryan Reynolds' personality stapled all over it. I mean, it was great. I loved everything about this movie. I mean, I don't have as many complaints as you, obviously, but I fucking loved it. I had a blast. And the oh shit, what was I gonna say? Where they actually go through the portals where he's going to all the different universes trying to find the Logans.
Yeah,
we haven't even talked about that yet, but that was freaking crazy, dude.
That's still the funniest one. He finds it and he's like, "Oh, you're the comic book accurate Wolverine." He's 5'3". It's fucking hilarious.
And called him a short king.
Yeah,
he's comic book accurate short king.
And he gets down. It's so funny.
You got that one. You got the one where he shows up in the.
That's been Muzz's complaint about Hugh Jack. He hates Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and it's because he's not comic book accurate. Who you gonna get to be 5'4" to play?
Yeah, you're not. I don't know. Like Hollywood's
people are like saying they want Taron Egerton. That's what they've been saying. Him or Daniel Radcliffe because they're shorter. I don't know why.
I'm sure they can
Hollywood
find
doesn't
somebody.
like short people.
Yeah,
no, they really don't.
Tom Cruise is always standing on his apple boxes and everything.
Yeah, Arnold does it too. Arnold's short.
I forget how short he is.
They say he's 6 foot. He's not. Dude.
No, you're taller than him because he's walking by us at the Arnold before.
Well, when my dad took me to the Arnold when I was like 8 or 9, and we were. I mean, I was literally like from me to you to Arnold, and I was taller than him. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like,
is this real life?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, all the variations we got of Wolverine were awesome. And what was it? Not the second to last one was Henry Cavill.
Yep.
He looked really good as Wolverine.
Did he call him did he call him the Cavill-Verine or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
He's like, "You look so good," or something.
He was like, "Listen, if they're not treating you good down the road, you come here. We'll find something for you."
Right.
That was a really good. I actually totally forgot about that in a way. That was a really good moment.
Yeah. I love when he got into the one dimension and he was like, "Oh, authentic Wolverine. You fought the Hulk in that one." And then the Hulk just beats the shit out of him.
You're like, "Shit." Or like, oh, "Dude, I wanted to see that so bad."
They should have let us see a little bit of that fight.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But all the variations of Wolverine and them fighting and even when he met old man Logan.
Dude, they shot him with the shotgun.
Shot him with the fucking shotgun. You're like, great. That's awesome. He kind of looked like Clint Eastwood there.
Yeah,
that's how he looks he looked just like the comic book.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
Just like it.
But oh man, we haven't even gotten to the best parts of this movie yet. That would be the cameos.
Oh my god!
The very first cameo that starts out,
you
think it's fucking Captain America, and then you don't really hear it. It's like very subtle because they're like, "Oh, what's he getting ready to say?" And Deadpool's like Avengers, and then you hear Flame On at the same time, and you're like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, that was a fun misdirect.
Yeah, very fun. I was not expecting
it was just cool to have Chris Evans back too, having fun, because I think, especially toward the end, he was one of those actors who was very much like, "I'm in this for the money."
Yeah,
so I can go do the other movies I want to do, really.
Right.
And so that was kind of cool that he got to come back and have some fun with it.
Kudos to hats off to Disney for allowing that. Because he's Captain America. He's a prized, I don't want to say possession to them, but he's a prized face for them.
They even said it. What we saw the preview for Captain America's Brave New World. What's Harrison Ford tell him? You're not Steve Rogers. You might be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
And that's a big thing for, them to be gracious enough to say, hey, go have fun.
Right.
This isn't going to hurt Captain America's legacy and what we've built with you.
I want to say this. They say fuck a lot.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Like to the point where that's another thing. It's like, it's a little too much. Like I wish they had dialed it back just a hair.
Motherfucker.
But they do let Chris Evans get some pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, he talks some shit, dude. And the post-credit scene with him was great too.
Yeah.
Got you, motherfucker.
Trying to say I got him killed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then from there we got, what was it? I mean, there's all kinds of people from all the Fox movies in this.
Sabretooth shows up.
Sabretooth.
Ray Park shows up. That was like, what?
Toad. Pyro from
Wolverine just puts a fucking hurting on
that dude.
Sabretooth. Just chops his fucking head off right away.
I was almost waiting since Ray Park was back as Toad. At least I'm assuming that was him.
It says, like a
Star Wars. It was.
I was waiting for a Star Wars joke in there now that Disney owns them too.
Well, they did make a Mad Max reference. I have your Queen Furiosa.
Yeah, that was great. I was cracking the fuck up when that happened. But yeah, and I mean, everybody was good. And then, you see all these characters, and they had one guy that resembled, I wish they would have been able to get what's his face back for Juggernaut. Vinny Jones.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's a little old,
he's
he probably
in a fucking suit anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, why couldn't they have gotten him?
Right.
But it would have just been better if he was Juggernaut. But I mean, the guy looked close enough to it.
Yeah. He's still in a suit, so.
But yeah, Juggernaut he's another one that they made short work of eventually.
Yeah. I did cringe. Anything with Achilles, he always fucking cringe.
But then we got, Jennifer Gardner as Elektra
came back.
That scene was like the moment where everybody just exploded.
Crazy.
Well, and then we got Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Well, you're waiting, then you see a card float, and you're like, "Is that a fucking playing card?"
Yeah.
And you see him, you're like, "Oh my god!"
And then we got Blade, Wesley Snipes.
Biggest pop of the night, I think.
Yeah, biggest pop of the night definitely went to Wesley Snipes.
But like, this is what I was talking about earlier. Like, Elektra and Blade came out over 20 years ago at this point. So like, if you are not like almost in your 40s watching these movies, you might not have any connection to Blade or Elektra.
Well, the movie was made for me and you and Robzilla. It was made for old white guys.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how will it hold up over time if you don't know those things? That's my problem with the movie as itself. But as we talk about, like, the theater exploded when they came out. In that moment, it was perfect, and it was perfect for that part of the movie.
So, dare I say, Blade is one of the best Marvel movies ever?
I couldn't tell you the last time I watched Blade.
Really?
And I went and saw the theater when it came out. I need to rewatch it. I've never seen
Blade is just such a good movie, and it still holds up.
You never seen Trinity?
I don't think I've ever seen. I may have never even seen 2 all the way.
2 is, I think
2's good.
I personally, for me, 2 is better than 1. And that's directed by Guillermo del Toro.
That's a bold statement.
Oh, it's way better in my opinion.
I just think the first one was just so classic.
It's people just forget how that Blade was a Marvel
Rob,
movie.
the sword fight at the end of Blade 1.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Come on.
What about the final fight scene between Nomak and Blade?
Yeah.
What?
Robzilla's just over here trying to ice skate uphill.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's like, where'd he get that from? Oh, the Punisher. He's like, there's been like 5, but there's gonna be one Blade, just one.
there's only one Blade.
When Blade showed up, I was like, oh man, please have a Ben Affleck cameo, please. And then they made that joke about Daredevil dying. I was like, oh man. She was just like totally like, yeah, I'm cool with it.
That would have been almost too much, but it would have been. I took it's Ben Affleck,
right? Well, the best part was like, he's like, so all we have to do is get Magneto's helmet. Well, Magneto's dead.
Yeah.
Fuck. He's like, well, we just get the helmet. She melted it down. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean,
if you'd have given me like 50 or 100 guesses to guess and told me like 3 people are going to show up in a movie, I would have never guessed those 3.
Yeah. No.
Maybe Blade, definitely never Elektra. And obviously,
especially since people despised the Elektra movie.
Right.
And, you know, maybe Blade. Yeah, maybe Blade, especially with the way Blade's been treated, you know, with them not being able to figure out what the fuck they want to do with the new one. But man, and then that line that Wesley Snipes gave in the movie where he was like, there's only been one Blade and there only will be one Blade. It's like, oh, he fucking wrong.
That's fucking right.
Yep.
I hope,
let them know who daddy is.
Yeah.
I hope there's some audience reaction video of that out there and somebody gets to show Wesley Snipes.
You know they will.
We still love you.
That's the thing we want to see out of, you know, people filming in theaters,
Right.
like audience reactions, and not the screen that we've already seen the movie on or somebody else hasn't seen it.
It just brings you back when like you're in the theater and like, man, I've never seen that part. Now
Oh yeah.
There is amazing.
Definitely. And it's so nice to finally have that feeling back in the theater again.
And like we said, again, like this is the kind of stuff you're supposed to be doing in a way. Like, obviously you don't, I think there's a limit to fan service and that kind of stuff. Like, you want a reason for characters to be there. And there's not necessarily a reason for these characters to be here, but they actually do stuff.
Yeah.
They don't just pop in and then like leave. They're actually part of the story and all that.
Oh yeah.
And that's, like I said, I mean, Marvel, Disney, whatever, Disney, Marvel, Fox now, I mean, they have access to so many characters that there should be at least like one of those in almost every movie. Really, there should be somebody you don't expect showing up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like I said, I had no idea these people were in it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kept it under, you know, I mean, it was locked. They had it locked down.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah. In today's world with all the, I mean, look at all the photos that got snapped while they were filming Superman here in Ohio
already. Yeah.
And I mean, it's just hard to keep those secrets. So hats off to them for, you know, I mean, because they started filming this during the pandemic, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, hats off to them for being able to keep this secret for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it paid off, man. It paid the fuck off. This was a great movie.
Well, I think what it is too is that we've been seeing the same characters, Avengers. Now we're seeing X-Men where we've been wanting to, where they're in the MCU. Yeah. So we really are wanting to see that.
Well, I don't know what the future holds for X-Men, but I don't think Hugh Jackman, I feel like he's done as Wolverine. Like this was the last thing he wanted to do.
He's getting to that age where it's like extra hard to look like that.
Yeah. It takes work.
He's in the suit most of the time. So most of the movie is just like
his
neck and above, and then his arms for the end. But at the same time, there's some scenes where he's got his chest is out and all that. And you got to be in shape to do that stuff. Yeah. You got to be like in shape and then some.
Well, I think he will. I know when they're starting to do like Secret Wars, I think he'll make an appearance in that. So forth.
Maybe we'll see.
I think it might be something like that, but not like a full blown movie.
Because he sticks around in that universe. So
yeah.
I mean, whatever, you know, if they tie that in, I don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah. But
I mean, he can, if he doesn't like rip off his shirt or anything like that, just works his arms and then he'll be in that suit. I mean, he can do it, but.
So do you think Ryan Reynolds is going to do another Deadpool movie?
Didn't he make a joke about his wife divorcing him if he tried to do another one or something? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I've heard a bunch of like rumors and stuff too. Like they didn't want him to do anything more.
Deadpool's another character where I feel like he should be like a cameo character.
Yeah.
Pops up for parts of the movie or something. Not necessarily
like a side character, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the future holds, and it's tough work even for him. You know, he's got to get in shape to play this character. Not too much, you know, because he's obviously in the suit or whatever, and he can just do the voice work. But yeah, you know, that takes a lot of time away from your family, and he's got other business ventures and stuff like that. So
mobile. And
the way they did this, I mean, they left it open to where they could do another movie or they could just end it there.
Well, they could. I think you leave the door open. They can do a few different things.
Yeah, he'll probably show up in like, you know, Secret Wars or something like that.
That's where I feel like those people will show up in Secret Wars.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, kudos to him. I mean, this is all because of his, you know, constant pursuit of wanting to play Deadpool, and you know, he got shit on for the original Wolverine movie, and he never gave up on it, you know. And they had that short film that they released that picked some steam up on the internet, and that really propelled it into the movie. But you know, he never gave up on his dream of wanting to be Deadpool.
He got to be Deadpool.
Yeah. Man, you know, in the past, I've complained about the dick jokes and stuff like that in Marvel movies, but with Deadpool, I don't mind it because I expect it, you know?
It's his character.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm going in, I'm expecting it. I don't expect there to be a serious tone.
Yeah.
So it pays off. But man, I've really enjoyed it, man. It was a good little trilogy.
I actually went on like Wikipedia and like look with like the other characters because there's so many.
Oh yeah,
but they don't
definitely.
really introduce them, but they have Lady Deathstrike. Of course, they have Toad, Juggernaut. But
listen, did you hear Rob when Sabretooth and all them pulled up on him in the void, and they started focusing in on a guy that was on the actual tank or whatever they were on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then I hear Rob, oh, it's Pyro.
Yeah,
it's Pyro.
I'm like,
I had no idea.
How does the shit you remember just amazes me?
See, I figured if they're going to have that guy, I figured they would have Iceman.
You know what? They missed a golden opportunity to have Quicksilver.
Yep.
At least the one from the one X-Men First Class movie.
With Peter, forget his name. Oh my god.
I don't need to know his name. He was in the one movie.
Yeah. He was Dahmer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was Dahmer, and he was he's in American Horror Story and all that. I guess now we need to know his name.
Yeah, it's Peter.
Here, we just go to Dahmer. You think that's
what's the show?
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Okay.
Evan Peters. Let's go to Evan Peters real quick. Yeah, they missed an opportunity. I mean, I guess we got him in whatchamacallit, WandaVision.
Yeah.
But
very short time.
Yeah,
But nothing.
That was kind of lame. Yeah, X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yep.
Oh man, he was in Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. Fine. I need to rewatch those. I haven't seen them in a while.
Watch Dark Phoenix.
I don't think it's as bad as people say it is.
I thought Apocalypse was fun. We went and saw that in the theater. I thought that Apocalypse was pretty fun.
And that was one it was like opening night and nobody was there. We were like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of people didn't like the design of Apocalypse, but I'm like,
a lot of people are upset that they wasted old dude in that.
Oscar
Isaac, yeah. It is what it is, But Deadpool was so fucking fun.
Looks like they're saying it's just a one-picture deal for Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't see him coming back because he said he was done after Logan.
Yeah.
And I think this was the only he wanted to really make a movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
But man, did it fucking pay off. It worked. I was reading where they had the original title of the movie was Deadpool and Friend.
Oh yeah.
And they rolled a trailer with it and they all fucking hated it. They were like, yeah, that's got to change. So they ended up, going with Deadpool and Wolverine. But man, really solid fucking fun movie. I enjoyed everything about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything we're leaving out. But, we went through the ending and it looks like he gets back together with his girl.
Yeah.
So hopefully Deadpool has a happy ending.
He's like, give me the dog. Fucking talk to the girl.
Yeah.
And the amazing car fight scene, which is amazing.
Oh, yeah. In the Honda Odyssey.
Honda Odyssey joke through the entire film.
I mean, it was all great. The bus scene was great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many good things about this movie. Too many good things.
Yeah.
Too many good things. Really solid fucking movie.
I hope the lessons they've learned over the years is like people want to see characters in like their original suits. Like,
yeah,
there is a way to mix in like a more realistic stuff and the comic book stuff. You can do one or the other or both. You don't have to.
Oh, we didn't even talk about when he put the cowl on.
Oh, everybody freaking out.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you put on the mask? He's like, man, that looks scary.
He looked so fucking cool with it too, didn't he?
Yeah. Had the white eyes, everything.
Yeah. It was great, man. Like I said, so many great things about this movie.
It's got that Avengers vibe. Like I still remember back when the Avengers came out, my mom asked me about it. What's the big deal? And I'm like, I'm not saying it's like the greatest movie that ever came out or anything, but we're finally seeing stuff we've been waiting years to see.
Yeah.
And in some cases never thought we would.
Right, definitely.
We've been waiting since 1990, whatever, to see that Wolverine in that yellow suit.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't think it was going to happen.
Well, I mean, just like even for me, like Transformers, like I never thought I would get like a good transfer, or seeing that the first one where Optimus Prime rolls up and he just transforms, you're like, oh my God. It's just those moments you never think you're going to ever have, and you actually get it.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have for this episode. So as always, I'm going to ask you to share the show with a friend. And from there, we'll get another person to listen or watch the show. If you can, comment on the episodes, comment on the YouTube episodes, comment on the TikToks.
YouTube, Spotify, TikTok.
We will interact with you eventually. I noticed PBS is going out of his way to reply to people.
I'm always trying. Like if I see comments or whatever, we got the Discord. If anybody wants to get on the Discord.
Yeah, there's a PBS classroom in there, and occasionally he'll post things in there.
He
feels you need to educate you on. He feels he needs to educate you on.
We want to talk to you about things. We like talking about these things.
Yes, definitely. Oh, and we might have Movie Brock on eventually. So movie talk with Brock on TikTok. So he says he wants to come on, and I said, yeah, you can come on, dude. So
yeah, you want to be on the show?
He said he wanted to come on. When we first followed each other on TikTok, and then I sent him a couple shirts for Nerdco, and he gave us a shout out on one of his videos. So that's cool of him. So we'll have to schedule something. I talked about doing a movie night with him too.
Sweet.
So we were talking maybe Alien Romulus.
Okay. Yeah.
But that'll be a cool thing. Brock's a cool dude. So
sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah. But yeah, so maybe we'll have him and maybe a couple other guests before the end of the summer. We're going to SummerSlam next weekend.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh my God.
But yeah, other than that, like, subscribe, all that BS. But thanks for listening, and remember, keep it sleazy.
Thanks for listening to the Sleazy Podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and remember, listen to Sleazy.